How's it going, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're back at the 2022 Auto Show, and before we start talking about this Nissan Z, behind me, definitely be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications down below. It helps me out a ton as a smaller YouTuber. But behind me is actually the 2023 brand new Nissan Z. If you watched my first day highlights back, I think I posted on Friday, I did a little brief walk around of this car, but now we're going to go a little bit more in depth, talking about the drivetrain, talking about the wheels, talking about a bunch of different specs of this new Z. And as you guys can see, I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. On camera, even like in person, it's just so much better. If you've been subscribed to my channel, you know I did a bunch of videos on the reveal, the build-up, when this was initially in the prototype phase all the way back in 2020. And honestly, all the hype that's around this new Z, I think it's truly worth it. A lot of times you see cars that kind of have this huge hype when they're a prototype, when they're a concept, and then eventually when they actually hit the production phase and hit the roads, they're just not what they really didn't live up to their name. But honestly, with this new Z and the power that it's making, I think that Nissan really hit it out of the park with this modern retro design. Again, if you are subscribed to my channel, you know that I'm a huge fan of the modern retro design. I actually have an 08 Mustang, which is like the first kind of mainstream modern retro that really had a lot of success. But you see that a lot with this new 400Z, and mainly with the kind of same silhouette that it actually shares with the 240 and the 280. So now I'm going to take you guys around the car. We're going to talk about the drivetrain first, and then the back, and then eventually the interior. And whether you like or hate this car, definitely let me know down in the comments below. I know I definitely love it. All right, guys, so now underneath the hood of this 400Z or Nissan Z, you actually have the same 3-liter twin-turbo V6 that is found in the Infiniti Q60 Red Sport 400. And honestly, I mean, it's a modern car. You can't see much. The turbos are really tucked down there. You're definitely not going to be able to see them from that tripod angle there. Just switching over to the GoPro to give you guys a better look. You have the huge, obviously, plastic piece over everything like most modern cars. Again, you can't really see much, but it is the same exact engine. It's a proven engine. It's making 400 horsepower right out of the factory. You also have this little strut bar right here that goes across the top, so that's definitely going to help with the rigidity and the overall just flexing when it's actually taking corners. But yeah, I mean, obviously it's super clean. It's a brand new car, and it's in the New York Auto Show. But besides that, you honestly can't really see much. It's definitely tucked in very, very tight to that engine bay. And like most modern cars, I'm sure it's a pain to work on, but still a phenomenal platform. Again, just front engine, rear wheel drive, a limited slip differential in the rear, one-piece drive shafts, and then also moving on to the wheels, you have just the regular like factory alloy 19-inch wheels from Nissan. Nice big brakes up front. I think they actually only look like 2-piston calipers in the front here, and then moving on to the back is just a single piston caliper, it looks like. But yeah, I like the design of the wheels. Not too crazy, but again, the entire drivetrain is just really good. And of course, this one is actually featuring the 6-speed manual transmission. So I'm going to talk about the interior in a second, but Nissan pretty much did exactly what they said that they were going to do. Simple car, decent amount of power, rear wheel drive, and an actual manual. So that's obviously why so many people, including myself, are going crazy over this thing. All right, guys, so now coming along the rear here, again, you have the taillights that I talked about, and these taillights are basically the same thing as the headlights, LED, except they're in the kind of shape or style of the 300ZX. So I really like how the taillights just tie the whole car together, because again, it has the overall silhouette of like a 240, 280. There's a lot of components in here, as you're going to see in the interior, as well as the back here from the 350 and 370. But the taillights are like the main thing that has that 300ZX generation, or like the 90s Zs in it. But now I'm actually going to bring you guys, we're just going to switch over to the GoPro right now. And coming along in the back here, the how you actually open up this back is there's a little button right underneath the Nissan logo, which is really cool. And opening up you know, not much space, but it looks extremely similar to the 350 and 370Zs. You still have that bar across and the extruding parts right there, which is really awesome. Also a nice like little subtle lip spoiler on the back here that kind of ties in the whole car. And then moving to the interior, again, you have the handles on the outside from the 350, 370. Same thing right in here. Have a much nicer interior though with the Alcantara, the blue Alcantara. This one actually does have the blue interior along with the blue exterior. And honestly, like, again, you might think that it's too much blue, but I think it's honestly not bad at all. It goes along really well with the black parts of this interior. All of these seats right here are leather, and then actually taking a seat in it, it hugs you in really tight. They're not like, you know, obviously full-blown racing seats, but they're definitely a lot more sporty feel. A super light clutch. I mean, it's a you know, modern car, so all cars are pretty much gonna have a very light clutch that come out nowadays. And then you can see the 6-speed manual transmission right here. Pretty short throw, not like super notchy or not super ridiculous. And then also right here, again, like I said before, a lot of parts integrated from the 350 and 370 generation. You have the voltage right here, your actual, it's an actual turbo RPM, like a turbo speed gauge, and then the boost gauge. So they kind of cheaped out with these two gauges, but at least one of them's not a clock like the 350 and 370s. Also right here, you have the digital display. This kind of completely shuts off when the car is off, but it's completely customizable as well. So you have your, you know, your RPM gauge, your temp, a bunch of other gauges, and then a full touchscreen right here, which I can kind of move around, but again, everything's off because it's just displayed. You also have a sport mode, which I think integrates the automatic downshift or like rev match for the manual transmissions. And then your start stop button, which I think is really cool, as well as also seat heaters right there. But now I'm actually going to get out and just kind of finish up this video for you guys, because again, like, so many people are trying to see it. As soon as I started filming, like, a huge line pretty much started, so that's my luck. But I mean, a lot of people justified in wanting to see this. I've been waiting for this car to come out in anticipation since, again, 2020, when it was in like the prototype phase. And in person, it definitely does not disappoint. If you're around New York, I highly suggest checking this thing out before the 24th on Sunday, when like the last day closes, because again, you can sit in it, you can do whatever. You can open up the hood, you can open up the back. A lot of the people at Nissan are really awesome. And again, huge shout out to the people at this Nissan booth and just Nissan overall for letting me film this video, even though people are trying to, you know, see this. Anyways, that's pretty much just gonna be it. If you haven't already, definitely be sure to like this video down below, subscribe, and again, turn on post notifications. It helps me out a lot as a smaller YouTuber. Also, let me know what your opinions are of this new Z. Again, I love it, but if you hate it, let me know down in the comments. Let me know what you guys don't like about it. But personally, I really do think that it's awesome. That's awesome. And actually, before we leave, one thing that I forgot to mention, along the back here, you have these holes and the exhaust tips, which aren't just for styling, that also, you know, does affect the overall just tone of the vehicle. But yeah, that's just one little extra detail that I kind of wanted to add before closing out this video. But like always, thank you guys so much for all the support, and I'll see you in the next one.